Balls.
Nothing like starting an episode with a head
Yeah,
drop, right?
yeah, exactly. That's the best way. That's how I've always preferred to start episodes, but you just wouldn't let me until now.
And me,
Yeah,
I think we just didn't have an in to do that until now.
yeah, that's true. We needed a good excuse.
And what better excuse than balls, baby?
Oh God, you know what? A lot of girls talk about hot girl summer, right?
Uh-huh. Of
But
course
do you
they
know what
do.
I like?
Uh-huh.
You know what's
What do you
better
like?
for
What's better?
smooth sack summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to announce that Smooth Sack Summer is officially upon us. When you're out playing in the summer sun, make sure you're groomed from pubes to bum. Thanks to our friends at Manscaped, you can make this season your smoothest yet. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is the ultimate bundle to keep your voice downstairs cool while also looking hot. Join the 10
Oh yeah.
million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer. Get 20% off plus free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and use the code THPN. Summertime and the trimming is easy. So,
We know about those hedges, boys.
of course we do. So, here's the thing. We have everything that you need to know about the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. It's got
Do we?
everything to prepare that summer bod. Have you ever had, a situation where maybe you've gotten a nick down there or something like that, and that's not
Oh
fun.
yeah. Never
Nobody,
fun. Ew.
no,
Never fun.
painful, and nobody wants to look at that either.
Itchy. Ugh.
Yeah, yeah, everything about it stinks. So you want to do everything you can to try and prevent that. You want something to reduce that chance of happening. And every man knows how scary it can get when you're going for a close shave below the belt. And that's why I trust Manscaped for all my sensitive areas. Inside
Oh,
this package, you'll find the star of the show, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Their fifth
5.0, guys.
5.0. 5.0 is pretty impressive, isn't it?
We've been doing this for a long time,
Everybody
and
talks about like 2.0, 3.0. This was 5.0.
yeah,
They've been going at it for a while, man.
just one tick below premium surround sound, guys.
Their fifth generation trimmer features two interchangeable next gen skin safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a
Mhm.
new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. We also have dual LED spotlights to provide contrast on multiple skin tones, three length sitting combs, and oh, did I mention that this trimmer is waterproof?
Very convenient, right? It's the most
Of course.
convenient thing.
Beach, lake, or shower. This razor will devour even the strongest pubes.
Uh-huh.
Now that you have the perfect haircut, use Manscaped's liquid formulations to keep that freshness even at the hottest summer barbecues. The Crop Soother, aftershave lotion, and Crop Preserver anti-chafe ball deodorant. Once they touch your sack, you'll never go back. Dude, I can't freaking stand when you have ball chafing. It is the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah,
It'll ruin your day, not just your day, it ruins your week because it doesn't just affect you the day, it affects you until the situation solves itself. Nobody wants that. So that is probably my favorite part about this package is just having something to help the ball chafing.
to just like help clean. Yeah, fellas,
They
believe
even
us.
throw in two free gifts. Are you ready?
Two gifts?
Two gifts,
Two
not
gifts.
one, but two. They give
We,
you Manscaped boxers, which I'm sure also help with that
oh yeah.
chafing issue, and the Shed travel bag.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a travel bag when you need like all the little trinkets and stuff.
It is. I mean, hey, I just came back from London, so I would
Could have
recommend.
used that.
Yeah, could have used that. More wet problem products? Say no more. Manscaped's new buff bundle is all you need to keep the summer heat a breeze. This bundle includes their signature silicone scrubber and body wash. Ditch your nasty loofah and grab a taste of freshness.
Fellas, your fellas will thank you.
Yes, they will. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code THPN at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code THPN at manscaped.com. It's smooth sack summer, boys. Get on board or get left behind.
You're listening to Jake Jackets. Gear up to fire the cannon and hit the ice with your hosts, Jay Ashdown and Jake Gehringer.
Alrighty. We don't have too many moments to spare. Let's get right into it, Jake.
We're here,
We're here.
wow.
Well, here for once. My apologies for the technical difficulties last week, and however, many other weeks that it has been my fault that we didn't record.
Excuse me.
Because there have been plenty. But we're back. I have a dog on my side that I have to pet the whole time to keep her from losing her mind.
We've got a little doggo guest here.
Because it's the dog days of the NHL season, isn't it?
We wanted to record a show to preview the Cup Final. And now
the Cup Final's almost over.
It's seemingly almost done. What the heck?
Unless the unless the Oilers have any interest in pulling Cleveland Monsters and pushing this thing to 7 games.
Hey-o!
That was a sad one. That was a sad moment, which we can slightly get into later. But as of right now, the Florida Panthers are up 3-0 on the Edmonton Oilers, Jake. So let's get into playoff Kepis.
Yeah.
I feel like we're actually going to share one for once.
I feel like we should share one for once.
I feel like
because the chase continues and it's weirdly almost over.
Yeah.
The action is all on DraftKings Sportsbook. You all know this. An official sports betting partner of the NHL and the Stanley Cup Final, and it's just as hot as the action on the ice. Same game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, so much stuff that DraftKings has for you. Don't miss out on the Stanley Cup playoffs as they wind down. So let's take a look. We are recording this on the day of Game 4. Which, again, it's been crazy.
Yes.
We wanted to record a preview show.
Would have loved to have done that.
Would have loved to have done a preview show, and then your cord broke.
Sorry. Yeah, and I got a new one that's kind of mid. It's not really. It doesn't keep this thing charged very long, so that might be an issue. But I got it plugged in right now to hopefully prevent the speed at which this thing decreases.
You should just. I was gonna say, when you get home, just do what I do and never leave it off the charger.
That's literally what I've been doing too. But it got knocked off the charger by a certain dog that I have to pet right now.
By a certain
a certain dog.
A certain dog. Well, let's take a look. So we've got the speaking of the same game parlays, we got a quick one here called Send It Back.
Okay, yes. I wonder what that is. Send it back where?
Betting the Oilers to stay alive. Stay alive.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid, 29 assists. Leon, 28 points. Hyman, 14 goals. I believe that's their current stats for this run. If I'm right. So the legs for this. Oilers to win tonight. Again, as of recording tonight. Leon, a 2-point or more night.
Feels reasonable.
Connor McDavid, 2 or more assists tonight.
Okay.
And for Hyman to score a goal. And they really need Zach Hyman. They really need Zach.
You know what's funny is to be honest with you, the thing I don't like about that parlay is the 2 assists for McDavid. Because it feels like in these moments, it's not him trying to do it himself and set guys up. It's him just saying, I'm just gonna look at the goal he scored against Dallas.
Exactly, right?
In a goal, he just pulled a rabbit out of the hat.
Well, they've actually got a bit of favor tonight because we know even down 3-0. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult in the Stanley Cup Final because the last team to do that was the 1942 Leafs. Holy crap.
Yes.
Come all the way back and win. The money line for this is a -102 for the Florida Panthers and a 118 on the minus for the Edmonton Oilers.
So you're basically just trying to bet outright winner tonight.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I like the rewind it back as well. The 4-3 win, Barkov 2 points, the Reinhart goal, McDavid 2 points and 5 shots. Florida at Edmonton, total over 5.5 goals.
Wow.
Could be a spicy one tonight. Connor McDavid 2+ points and Barkov at least a point, which is feasible since I believe Paul Maurice did say he will be in the lineup tonight.
Yes, I believe he will.
And if you're new to our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook, got to figure out where it is on the camera. You got to check this out. New customers bet $5 to get 150 in bonus bets instantly, right away.
Yeah.
And all you got to do to get on it with us is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get 150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER in West Virginia. Visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/ice for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gambling resources. Copyright NHL 2024. All rights reserved. There we go.
There you have it.
This is going to be a fun one because, we'll get into it after some Columbus news afterwards because we do have a bit of Columbus talk to get to. But in terms of Kepis, I think we do need to share this.
Yeah, I mean,
for many reasons.
Yeah, you think about a guy who can certainly make the argument for the greatest Blue Jacket of all time. Won 2 Vezinas in a very short span. Was it 2 Vezinas in 4 years for us?
13 and 17, yes.
Yeah. Brought some respectability back to the franchise. Was the goalie for a first playoff series win. Obviously, it stinks the way that it ended, but we weren't going to pay him $10 million, which he's proven to actually be worth, despite not looking like that might be the case early on in his Panthers career.
It's gotta go. It's gotta go to our dude.
Yeah,
Sergei Bobrovsky has been the total X factor, particularly in this final.
Dude, first 2 games he allowed 1 goal.
1 goal. And he's got like a 950 save percentage throughout the first 3 games.
It's been nails. I mean, it's crazy to see how far he's come from that guy who, let's face it, when he was with the Blue Jackets, it was a talking point over and over again how poor he looked in the playoffs. And he's turned it around. He's figured it out.
Because Sergei is our guy.
Yeah.
Can we just get sentimental for a hot minute?
Cheers, man.
Because obviously he starts his career in Philly as an undrafted kid.
Yep.
Not great.
It was a mixed bag. It was a mixed bag. His rookie year was pretty good, and then his second year was all over the place. He randomly got the Winter Classic start over Ilya Bryzgalov.
I was gonna say that was around Briz time, wasn't it?
It was. 2011, 2012 was Briz's first year with the Flyers.
And then Yarmo trades for him.
Actually.
Oh, no, wait, it was Scott Howson. You're right.
It was Scott Howson.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yes. Yeah.
But Yarmo was the one to build around him.
Yeah. I mean, he was
And
the one who was able to give him the extension and, help, build the team around him.
he was the first player that really I attached to when I started getting into NHL hockey.
Yeah. For me, it was him and Ryan Johansson.
I mean, we've talked about the sentimentality with Bob plenty on this show and just how much we love this guy. He brought us legitimacy. He brought smiles. Dude, he was the
Yeah.
smiliest dude in that locker room for
like
a
everybody
time.
talks about Lena Solmark and Jeremy Swayman, but at first we had Nick Foligno and Sergei Bobrovsky doing the hug.
Can we talk about the journey that he's had just as a person too? Because he comes to Columbus, and this is the case with a lot of European players, with a lot of international players anywhere, needs the translator, needs
Very quiet.
a teammate or something to help translate for the media.
Mm-hmm.
But then he starts going on social media.
Yeah.
He joins Twitter, he joins Instagram, he joins Facebook. And that first video of him saying hi,
Yeah,
with nearly flawless English, that really kind of warmed my heart up a bit, right?
Yeah, and it's I want to say maybe the parting gift for both the Blue Jackets and for Sergei Bobrovsky to each other was that 2019 run, because we saw in real time Sergei Bobrovsky finally shed that label, finally shed that playoff choker kind of vibe to him, and it helped the Blue Jackets sweep the Lightning and have a good series against the Bruins, even though they lost. And he took that with him to Florida, and he hasn't really looked back since. And it is funny that even though Yarmo didn't trade for him, he built around him, and then who builds around him in Florida is his
Yarmo's protege, Bill Zito.
So very interesting career for Sergei Bobrovsky, and the fact that he is going to have a Stanley Cup and potentially
that Tampa series, he's a lock for that Conn Smythe. For Florida, he's pretty much everybody talks about how good Sasha's been, and Barkov's been great. Don't get me wrong.
Unbelievable.
And
he's not only producing, but he's locking guys down too.
Tkachuk, I can see an argument for Reinhart, but the biggest lock case right now is Bob.
Yeah.
It's really hard to argue anybody other than Bob.
Yeah.
Think back to that Tampa series. Everybody talks about Nick's goal turning that game around.
Oh,
that save on Nikita Kucherov. That one save that he made in game 1 against Nikita Kucherov. That was the moment.
Yeah.
That turned everything around.
And I think it was only a tie game too, but they go on to win. And look, I don't think it should be surprising to anybody that they beat Tampa.
No, they were down 3-0 already.
The way that they fucking killed
Tampa. Battled, and then they just never looked back, and Tampa was already looking gassed. It was weird.
So yeah, but
well deserved. And
our Kepis going to Bob, and he deserves it. But one shout out I do want to give.
Yeah.
The gem of all gems. This dude, Paul Maurice.
He's so fucking funny. And
he's hilarious.
I love him.
Hilarious. So funny enough, me and Alex C have talked quite a bit about
at length, yes.
Because he actually wasn't a huge fan of Paul Maurice when the Panthers hired him. And I was. And part of my reasoning for why I like the hire, when he brought up his time with Winnipeg, I was like, I don't really think those Winnipeg teams were that good. And recently he's come to me, because he's had a total 180 on Paul Maurice too. He loves him now. And he's like, I think he might have had a point about those.
Oh, you think?
Because they had, we're going to talk about Laine later. It's they had 4 or 5 forwards who are just all gas, no brakes. They don't play any defense.
How many
They
times
don't
have we
really
talked about Scheifele and Wheeler being
Stifley,
like the
Wheeler,
core part of
not
that?
a great culture. Ehlers and Connor, I really like. Obviously, Laine too, but none of those guys play defense. And it just, and then you look at the defensive core where it was Tyler Myers and Jacob Truba and Dustin Bufflin.
Dylan DeMello on
They
the
built
bottom pair.
they built the biggest, meanest defense that doesn't really play defense.
That couldn't play defense, right?
Yeah.
Can I also just say, like, one of your favorite phrases is "time is a flat circle."
It is.
Sergei's 36, bro.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Sergei's 36.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's like it brings a tear to my eye. Like
It brings a tear to my eye because at some point in the next 5 years he's gonna retire.
our sweet
And
boy.
he's gonna be probably the first like major athlete of my life
Yeah.
to retire where I was like, holy shit, like I was there your entire career.
Right.
Like from
It makes me want to cry because it's like
because we've had like great athletes and like when I think of like a guy like LeBron, like I wasn't there really for the first 6-7 years of his career because I didn't care
right.
about basketball his first time in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I didn't really get into it, funny enough, until really after he left, and so he came back. It was special. I didn't really start paying attention to baseball until probably 2013,
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. But like hockey's been the sport that I followed the longest, and when it comes to the Blue Jackets, the one guy that I paid attention to the longest because he was there the whole time was Sergei Bobrovsky, and here he is, 36 years old. He's gonna retire at some point in the next 5 years, and he's one win away from a Stanley Cup.
He was the first Jackets jersey that I actually like got as a Christmas present.
Mm-hmm.
It was an old Reebok.
It's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. There's just something sentimental about what Bob's done to ascend to this place, right?
Yeah.
Especially for the two of us. Because like think about it. If he does the thing, it's a lock for the Hall of Fame.
I think it should be, especially if he gets the Conn Smythe.
Dude, Cup and especially if he gets the Conn Smythe, 2 Vezinas for a Blue Jackets team that was very, very low and then up and coming.
Mm-hmm. And then kind of same thing with Panthers.
He's got
the Panthers when he joined them. Like the Panthers weren't like this when he joined them.
No. And yeah, he kind of built them back up. Took a little bit longer.
Yeah, funny enough, when you think about it, like not only did he have to pay like live up to the pay grade of his contract when he joined Panthers, even though the Panthers weren't a great team, he was following Roberto Luongo.
Right.
That's not exactly an easy guy to follow, you
No.
know? So like a lot of pressure on this guy in Florida, and have the regular season numbers always been great? No. Do
No.
Panthers fans care? No.
Look at where they're at right now.
They went to the finals last year, largely because of how he played, and now they're a win away from a freaking Stanley Cup. And what's funny is if they do win it, is he'll become the second player, and it'll happen in back-to-back years to be making $10+ million to win a Stanley Cup.
Right, because Jack Eichel did it last year.
Yeah.
We just needed to take a little bit longer on that playoff Kepi because, like, come on, he's our guy.
Well, speaking of our guy, well, now we got to talk about one that's not as fun.
So Patty wants out.
Feels obvious in my opinion. I've been kind of alluding to this for a little bit now that maybe heading in this direction.
So the hard part to swallow for the majority of fans is the fact that so he's on this 4-year bridge contract.
Yeah.
Right? Which is a decently long bridge. We're halfway through it.
Mm-hmm.
And back before he signed it, he said all the right things about committing here.
Yeah, so I guess for some people there might be people upset about the fact that he's not going to see out the contract or be here long term. I think for me, to be honest with you, I haven't really paid attention to any of that because it's all circumstantial. This isn't
Yeah.
a situation where the player doesn't like Columbus. This isn't a situation where he doesn't like the fans or anything like that. This is a situation where, my God, he needs a change.
Think about it from big picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because how many times have we talked about, oh, players don't want to be here, this guy never wanted to be here, blah 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 blah. How much has that changed since Johnny, since Zach,
Mm-hmm.
since Elvis, to a degree, Patrik when he signed the contract?
Well, Elvis, when he signed the contract, is what you're referring to.
Yeah.
And like,
And going out and getting a guy like Don Waddell to now run the ship.
yeah, I don't know if people understand quite, how big of a hire that is, just in terms of
It's a
that
huge,
well,
like we
just in
talked
terms of
about it
that
last show.
aspect
It's
as
a
well.
huge hire.
Because when you talk about people not wanting to go to Columbus, they've been dysfunctional, and this guy said, "Okay, I can fix that."
He fixed the Hurricanes.
Yeah, and they needed fixing. Think about where they were when he took over.
Oh yeah.
They hadn't made the playoffs since 2009, and he took over in 2018.
Yeah. And I
So
mean
within a
we went
year
over that.
of
We went
him,
over that last show.
within a year of being hired, he got them back in the playoffs for the first time in a decade. So this is a guy who knows what he's doing, and I'm happy about that. The thing that's going to suck about this for fans is you are 1,000,000% going to lose a Patrik Laine deal. There's no way around it.
I mean, there's so many deals that happen like that. Like, you know, the one that everybody is talking about, because why wouldn't everybody be talking about it, is a potential Marner trade. You're gonna lose a Marner trade no matter where he goes.
Yes. But the difference between the Marner deal and the Laine deal is the Blue Jackets may have to retain on Laine.
Right.
The Blue Jackets, if they're getting rid of the contract and not retaining, might be adding assets to a deal.
Can you do me a quick favor and see where we're at? Like, can you find a way to look at where we are in terms of retention spots? Because I know
I
that
think we have all three available
because
because
there's is the Wenberg buyout done?
that doesn't
There,
factor into retention.
no? Okay.
No. Retention is literally just your retained salaries, and the only contracts the Blue Jackets would retain salary on are expiring deals. So
Right. So if they have all three, then it's fine. Um,
I'm not as bothered by retaining on Line A as probably some other people are.
well, because it's like it's an $8 million deal, right? Like per year.
8.75.
Oh, that's right, 8.75.
Like it's a lot. Yeah.
Um,
Because chances are, if you want like Line A, I think we've discussed as much as we like the guy is more of a complimentary piece than perhaps the star we had hoped he would be. He's got star
yeah,
qualities. I just don't think he's matured into that player yet. And
he's got time because wingers take a little bit more time.
he's still only 26 years old.
He's my age.
He
Like, come on.
absolutely can get there. He absolutely can get there.
And he was getting there is the problem.
Yeah.
Because the last couple of years we've seen it. He took one of the last 2 years to round out his defensive game,
Mm-hmm.
and then he took the other one to round out his playmaking ability.
And funny enough, he finished his last 2 years. I think he had 56 points in 56 games, and then it was like
Still a point per game player.
50 to 52 points in 55 games, something like that. Like he's like the last 2 years, he's been damn near a point a game player. This year, he only played 18 games, and he was hurt for a good chunk of them. So I'm not really even factoring those games in. He needs to change the scenery, and I think the Blue Jackets need to find a place for him to go, a team that's a contender that can get him to stardom.
So not only does he want and need a contender, like so many players of his caliber do. He needs a team with a good, and this is obviously, we love this team. We love cheering for him. We love the guys on the ice. We love particular parts of the staff.
Yes.
So to speak.
Yes.
We love how for the majority of we're in a good direction. The medical and training staff, dude. We talked about this for the last 3 shows.
He hasn't had good coaching the last 3 years. He hasn't had good medical staff the last 3 years. There's just no other way around it.
What's the problem with the obviously, they're medical.
I'm gonna leave that up to the next coach and Don Waddell to figure that out. They got to figure it out because it's yeah, I don't know, but I have no idea. Is there something wrong with the facilities? Is there something wrong with the advice these guys are getting in training? I have no idea. All I know is it's bad. The advice they're getting is shit.
Because I don't know if you watched or listened to the game over that I did with Richard yet. The main point of contention for this past season was Boone, Patrick, Damon. Yeah. Back to back to back 6-week injuries.
Yes.
6 weeks is a long time, guys. Especially in a season where you're playing for half the year.
Yeah. It's massive.
And to have 3 core guys like that, and I mean, not that Patrick's, he was a core for that team because you needed a guy to cement to play with Johnny and either Boone or Fantilli.
That's the disappointing thing in all this, isn't it? Is that it didn't work out between him and Johnny. I think that's what everybody was thinking was he's going to come here.
That, yeah.
He's going to come here, and Patrik Laine is going to put up 40 goals a season with Johnny Gaudreau on his wing, and they barely played together because they just didn't work.
And they never really had a consistent center. Like, the only time they really had a consistent center was when Boone was healthy, and not to say
that line just didn't work. Boone worked with Johnny. Johnny worked with Boone. Patrick didn't. It just didn't work.
It's so weird because remember, we talked about this at the end of the season. Pazzi went through 92 different line combinations.
Good God.
92 guys.
Oh my God, that's more than one a game.
He was Johnny was playing with Marchenko, with Fantilli, with Sillinger, with Rosie when he was here. He played with Alex Nylander for a bit.
I'm surprised to hear he didn't play with Carson Meyer at some point.
He played with Danny. He played with Yegor. He played with all the Russian kids, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm sure, including the defenseman.
Right.
I mean, good God. Yeah.
But the point is Patrick, right? Because, we love Patrik Laine.
We do.
He loves Columbus.
But when you love something, you got to let it go. And that's what the Blue Jackets need to do here. They need to accept that they're going to lose a trade.
Okay, Brendan Urie.
Try to, not get their asses eaten in a deal.
I'll let you finish this gospel, Brendan.
Yes. Yeah, just, you're going to lose a deal. It is. But if you're going to lose a deal, make sure that you're actually putting Patrik Laine in a good position.
You love him, let him go.
Is that all you're going to focus on the rest of the show?
No. I just did it was right there.
Do you want to get into some monsters talk?
Makes me want to listen to Panic later.
I was listening to it the other day.
But yeah, let's talk about good things with the little dudes. And I say little dudes as in minor leaguers.
Well, you want to talk about playoff runs for a goalie? Because we were just talking about Bob. Jet Greaves, man. Dude. Jet Greaves had a run. Yeah, good.
So you were at game 3. How was that?
Well, they got their shit kicked out of them, so of course that's the game I went to.
Yeah.
They went 3 games in Cleveland that series. They won 2 of them. Guess which one I went to?
Against Richard's Hershey Bears.
Yes. Congratulations to Richard. The Blue Jackets, the baby Blue Jackets, the Monsters, came back from 3-0 series deficit to force a game 7. Then they went to overtime in game 7. They went to overtime in 5 of the 7 games of that series. It's a lot of extra hockey, boys. My God.
I bet their legs are just shot.
Yeah. Yeah. But, I'm sure that's not even what they're focused on right now, because you get the emotions killed too.
Yeah.
But still, a hell of a way to battle back in the series. I mean, so many. They were 3-1 in that series with Denton Matachuk in the lineup.
Trey Fix-Wolansky having himself a series.
He had a great series. James Malatesta, I loved watching him play.
You had a hell of a time watching James the other night.
He's just got so much bite to his game. He really does. Every shift, man, he's in someone's face.
Yurachek giving us a glimpse of what could be with the big boys.
Him, Matachuk, Svozil, they're all phenomenal in this playoff run.
Yeah, well, how about Matachuk, coming off like a Memorial Cup run and then going.
I thought that they were gonna give him the start in game 3. I thought they were gonna put him in the lineup, and they didn't. So they put him in games 4 to 7. They went 3-1 with him in the lineup. Damn near 4-0 with him in the lineup. Unfortunately, they weren't.
And he looked really good on the score sheet.
He looked really, really good. Really, really good.
Obviously, we talk about Fixie all the time with the Monsters because it's like he's kind of their staple right now.
He is. He's like, they call him the franchise down there.
I mean, he kind of is. Like, whenever he's come up to Columbus, he has his role.
He's become our new quadruple A player, if you will.
Yeah, like right on the fringes, and we just kind of don't know.
I think we know.
Like,
he's way too good for the American Hockey League. He's not good enough for the NHL.
So basically, what you're saying is he's our. It's weird trying to find a comparable that doesn't make me laugh, because the first one that came to mind was Pierre Engvall.
Pierre Engvall, I mean, he's crafted out a role for himself, and with the Islanders. Like,
I just think it's funny because, like, look at Pierre Engvall, right? He's this weird, lanky, 6 foot, like 7 giraffe player
who refuses to hit people.
Meanwhile, like, you look at Trey, and he's 5'7". He's like muscle man. He's like this round friggin' right, yeah. And he hits everything that moves.
And he lights up the score sheet in the American Hockey League, and he's kind of donuts across the board in the NHL. It's
Gonser was the perfect captain for those Monsters, and whatever he decides to do.
Funny enough, if you're looking for a comparison for Trey, it might be Gonser, isn't it?
You think? Yeah. Wherever Brandon, yeah, I always got to remember which ones are Brendan and which ones are Brandon. Wherever Gauntz decides to go, he's going to have success, whether it's the A, whether it's the NHL, because he's a great depth player for any NHL team. I'm trying to think of other dudes that had a really good run for that Calder team. It was hard to focus on when I had all the other NHL highlights to look at.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who was sent down. Like Luka had, I want to say he had a pretty decent run.
I didn't really notice him in the game that I went to. I'm sure I could find. There's at least one name on my mind that I'm not coming to right now.
Right, because you already talked about Malatesta. We talked about Svozil. There's, oh my gosh,
Jake Gaudette, I thought was really good.
Oh yeah, Gaudette had himself it's weird because.
And Josh Dunn. Those are the two.
Dunner is a guy that I'm interested in when it comes to the big boys too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder if he'll eventually end up getting like a solid depth role.
That would all he would be, in my opinion, is just depth. But I feel like he'd be good depth. I mean, he's got some size to his game. He's a good net front presence.
Mm-hmm. I feel like he would work well with a guy like Voronkov if they decide to if you need.
And they decide to put Voronkov on the fourth line.
I mean, if you need Vrani as like a third line option in terms of gathering your depth, you could put him and Dunn together. He would work well with Curls. I think him and
Yeah, you'd have to put one of them on the wing, but yeah.
I don't know. There's just like I weirdly
if you're looking for someone he'd work well with, it'd be Olivier.
Oh yeah. Dunn and Olivier would be a really fun 1-2 punch, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so
it's just
good for size on the fourth line.
Couple bulls on parade right there.
Yeah.
Is that our second song reference in this episode?
I'm sure we'll have more. All righty. Let's get to the real meat and potatoes of the episode.
Oh boy. I'm happy you had fun, even though they lost.
Yeah, me too.
Those Monsters games are always fun, right?
Me too. To be honest with you, you put 20 next to this. I don't think it's going to take us that long. The Stanley Cup Final has been such a bloodbath. It's been very similar to the look of what this team freaking did to the Rangers, man. I mean, like, I was having a debate with friends the other day. Like, this Panthers team is going to go down as, we've had some strong winners lately. They're among the top of the group of strong winners with the two Lightning teams that won, the Colorado team that won, the Vegas team that won, the Penguins who went back to back. Like, we've had some strong winners in recent years. The Panthers don't have a weakness, and the last two rounds that they've played, the two biggest rounds of the playoffs, against the New York Rangers who won the President's Trophy and the Edmonton Oilers who have two of the top three players in the world who won the West. They're fucking boat racing these teams.
It's funny because like we talk about this, recording this as like a foregone conclusion, because on one hand it kind of is.
It is. Not to count out McDavid and Draisaitl.
No, and that's the thing, right? Like, what happened?
Easy. Can I tell you something? Like, a lot of people are going to ask that question. What happened here? What went wrong for the Oilers? What went wrong for them is they ran into the Panthers. I don't.
There's no way to really.
Bobrovsky's played well. The Panthers don't have a weakness.
No.
From head coach to center depth to their wingers to their defense to goaltending, special teams, 5-on-5, any situation you can come up with. They're physical. They'll kill you. Like, they don't have a weakness.
Stuart Skinner's trying his best, man.
I don't even think that Stuart Skinner's necessarily been the issue in this series, because games 1 and 2, they only scored a goal. And game 3, the defense wasn't great in front of him. Darnell Nurse has had a rough postseason.
You want to talk about
rough postseason?
You want to talk about unsung heroes for this Florida team? Evan Rodriguez,
dude, Erod, man.
Evan's been awesome. Kyle Okposo has been there. Like, he's chipping in.
Dude, between Okposo, Rodriguez, and Reinhart, like, the Panthers for some reason
decided. And Vladdy! Dude, when they got
there's a reason I mentioned these three players. Objectively hilarious that the Panthers were like, we want to win a Stanley Cup, so we need to acquire as many former Sabres as we can.
Right.
Not to mention fucking what's his name? Brandon Montour.
And you want to hear something crazy? Because I'm looking at their roster sheet right now.
What?
The first name that's listed here?
Yeah. Rasmus
Asplund.
Oh.
When did they get that guy?
I have no idea. Right. So yes, they got him too. Is there anyone else that were missing?
Look at all of this. Like, I'm just looking at the weird depth names. Like, when did they get Jonah Gadjevich?
good question.
What?
That's definitely waivers. That's definitely waivers.
Yeah, it's like what? I do kind of remember when they got Lawrence.
Yes, I do too. Yeah.
Like Lundell is doing his thing. Louis Turinen has been a little quiet, and we're just talking about the depth guys. Like what? Kevin, our old flame, Kevin Stenlund.
Has he played much?
I think he's played a couple of games. He had a couple of decent looks uh through the run, but like let's see. Um as this loads here, playoffs, 20 games, 1 assist. But he's been doing Kevin Stenlund things, just like being annoying in front of the net. And
Yeah, no offense to Kevin Stenlund, I didn't notice he was playing most of these games. But the 1 assist might be why.
he's also been a -1. Anyway. So let's actually talk about the big boys though, because like Barkov, we didn't know if he was gonna end up playing for
Yep.
game 4. Sounds like he will.
Yep.
Because Pomo was just like, it'll be
Yep.
fine.
Reinhardt's got 3 points in 3 games.
As he should, because that dude has been unreal. Like,
You know what's like a problem for the Oilers? They're down 3-0 in this series, and Matthew Tkachuk has 1 point.
Yeah, you're right. Maddie's been quiet.
He's got 1 assist, and he's an even in the plus-minus department.
They're winning. They're up 3-0 without Matthew Tkachuk contributing.
Yes.
What does that say?
Tells you everything you need to know about this team. Literally everything you need to know about this team.
I mean, like I said, there's Tarasenko, there's Carter Verhaeghe being a monster like he should be, because like how many times have we gushed about Carter Verhaeghe on this show?
He's easily probably the most underrated player in the National Hockey League.
He's not underrated, dude. It's like the Barkov conversation now.
Right, yeah.
It's like the more you talk
He's
about
been
him
so
as
underrated for so long that it is actually no longer underrated.
that because he's becoming overrated.
Sam Bennett has 3 points in 3 games, and he's got 1 in each game. Like he's spread around 1 point a game in this series.
Cousins is providing Cousins things.
Yep.
Just banging and crashing away. Lomberg, is a name in there that's
He's played, I think, a few games here or there. I don't think he's played a ton, but
5 games.
You know,
5 games, no points.
You know who's gone from like we talk about Verhaeghe as underrated, and
yeah,
like he's underrated and Rodriguez underrated. You know who's actually like becoming that new underrated that everybody's starting to come around on is Gus Forsling. Yeah.
I was gonna say, can we talk about Gus Forsling? Holy shit!
Good God, what a player he is.
Dude, he secured that bag and he deserves it. Like that big.
That's the thing. He secured a bag, but he's underpaid.
He's right.
He's underpaid.
It's Billy doing work, bro. Like,
it's actually also one of the more interesting acquisitions that the Panthers made. When I think back, like one thing that teams need to take advantage of, I think, is like when you're a contender, take advantage of the buyout market.
Yeah.
To get players who've been bought out who can contribute, like the Lightning when they won their first Stanley Cup in 2021, like the first of the two that they went back to back. They got Kevin Shattenkirk on a 1-year deal after he was bought out by the Rangers.
Yep.
And the Panthers did the same thing here. They went out and they got Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
OEL has been super solid on that bottom pair.
Yes, yeah, he played 80 games for the Panthers this season, 9 goals, 23 assists.
Dude, when your right side is Ekblad, Montour, Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
No, not even Oliver Ekman-Larsson. You got fucking Gus Forsling in there too. Like guys who can they can play either side. Dmitry Kulikov they brought back in.
Cooley's been fun. Mikula. I'm looking at Mikula right now. 4 points in this run in 20 games. Yeah. Like I know that's like, he's bottom pair.
But that's a bottom pair defenseman who has only been known for defense in his career.
He's a +3.
Yeah.
He's doing super well. Josh Mahura, like picking him up from the Ducks. Whoa. They got Bjornfot in some deal.
I think they got him off of waivers, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
But I don't even think he's played much, to be honest with you.
No, he hasn't. But like, I'm just looking at their overall like lines from the their overall roster from the NHL's app, right?
A
And
guy who blink and you'll miss what he's done this postseason. Anton Lundell's got 15 points in 20 games.
What?
Yeah. Bet you didn't fucking know that.
How's that for a bar
He's
trivia
got-
question, right?
He's got 3 assists in this series. He's only got 3 goals in these playoffs, but 12 assists. He's setting guys up, man.
We talked last show about what does, a Reinhardt contract look like elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
9.5 in Florida is easily 11 anywhere else.
Dude, I think he's going to stay.
I think, yeah, he should stay.
He should stay. He should stay. Yeah.
He should.
Unless the team wants to come out of nowhere and give him like 12 plus a year.
Right.
Stay.
In that case. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you, man?
Or you could pull a reverse Carter Verhaeghe and go to Tampa for 9.5, like, or go to Tampa for like 8.
Yeah. So yeah, look, it's just nothing against the Oilers, man. It's just I think the Panthers are just the best team right now, and as has been the case for these last several years, really ever since COVID, the best team, the most deserving team, is gonna walk away with the Stanley Cup.
Florida's run the East for the last like half decade plus.
It has. It has.
Between Tampa and the Panthers, like what? How?
Like, I know everybody, like at the time, it was super embarrassing, like the Lightning's loss to the Blue Jackets in the first round. I actually include that in this run because even though that loss was embarrassing, they followed it up with 2 cups. It shouldn't be forgotten that they won 62 freaking games that year.
Can I bring up this really funny story?
Sure.
From when I was in a voice chat the other day. I was in a Discord chat like I usually am with, friends on the SDPN Discord. And we're like just hanging out. We're doing like weird Pokemon fusions and shit and just talking hockey.
Yeah.
Right? No, we were playing our favorite game that Timbo likes. They really love this game that they made up called Who's That Dude?
Mm-hmm.
Where you just pull up a random hockey reference page and just look at how bad the picture is, and then you try to figure out who they are based off of either the picture, and then you start giving them stats and whatever.
Okay.
So we're just chatting, and we ended up talking about Columbus and how miserable we've been. Right. But then Evie, I'm gonna call him Evie just for the sake of just screen name.
Yeah.
Right? They pull out this one-liner that I love.
Yeah.
They're just like, dude, you swept God. What?
Oh, so that's what you were texting me about the other day. Okay. I was a little confused with it, but
and then we just fucking died laughing.
You know who's got the best like hockey DB, like hockey reference photo? Sports.
Oh God, do I want to look at this?
Look it up. Look up John Tortorella like hockey reference.
Can I just say, like, Aaron Ekblad is the perfect, like, I know Barkov's their captain, but Eki having 6 points.
Look up hockey DB. Look at Torts' photo.
Hockey DB, not hockey reference.
Yeah, hockey DB.
Okay. Okay, and then John Tortorella. I almost typed Tortellini. Like Squidward. John Tortorella. Oh yeah, from like way back in the day.
That thick stash, man.
Dude, that's straight up like that's a straight
That's
up
nails. That's nailed
like,
right there.
no, that's like that's a Ron Jeremy stash if I ever saw one. That is straight up like, dude, you could not convince me otherwise that this is straight up Ron Jeremy.
Right.
Because like, look at the flow, and it's in black and white. Like,
Yep.
everybody pause the episode right now and go look up John Tortorella's hockey DB page.
Alrighty, so we got a big news dump out of not Arizona anymore, but the new era in the NHL.
We do need to talk really quick because we're late to the party on this. The Capitals buying CapFriendly,
Yes.
which, you know,
Caps friendly.
Caps friendly, hey?
I think that same joke that literally everybody's made.
Everybody's already made this. Vegas bought general manager,
They did.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't new,
No.
and I'm really happy for the CapFriendly guys.
Oh yeah, me too.
So like what's happening is the three main dudes from CapFriendly are essentially being hired by the Capitals, and they're going to use the CapFriendly interface within their organizational system as part of their, you know, in-house operations.
It's smart. We've seen
this happen.
You just mentioned Vegas, who have gone to the finals twice in 7 years.
Cap Geek was before general manager, and when that went dark, that was really hard for people. So it's not like this is a new thing.
No, we just have to wait for the next thing in terms of cap management sites.
So here's the problem, right? CapFriendly built this up through the last 4 or 5 years to something that we just take easily for granted and love at the same time.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because it's the best that we've seen.
Yeah, it is.
We're working every single day to make this thing work well. The armchair GM is really fun. It's always great to just see all the little details about what the team is doing, especially if you're fans like us who are so hardcore into the sport.
Yeah.
You want
Getting
to
an
understand
understanding of contracts better than maybe you might find in just a basic article where they describe a contract, like figuring all that stuff out, being able to try and understand, like, hey, this is how we can
tracking
squeeze
draft picks, tracking buyouts, tracking retention.
Tracking draft picks is big. Like, I think that's an underrated aspect in it because people are going to be like, how many picks do we have in this draft? Because you can't just look up on CapFriendly to see what you got. And what pick is what, because you know any pick outside of really the first 2 rounds is a crapshoot because you might have a first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh round pick in this upcoming draft, but your third might be from Anaheim, your fourth might be from Carolina, your fifth's from Toronto, your sixth from Pittsburgh, your seventh is a conditional. You know, like
I love this that you're doing
all over the place. You're just picking off of, like, everybody's picking an apple off of a tree, and rather than just keeping the apple on the tree, they're like, here's my apple, I'll take your apple. And then they take that apple and they're like, I want an orange.
It's a game of hot potato.
They give me a pear. You know, it's just like, oh my God, man. Teams, I've talked about it before on this podcast.
Follow the bouncing pick. We always love follow the bouncing pick.
Teams love, and I mean they love, trading picks that don't belong to them.
Oh, yeah.
We traded this player for a 3rd round pick. Okay, awesome. We have this 3rd round pick. We need to do everything we can to trade it.
And it's always a pick that's like 4 years down the line that nobody's going to care about for a while.
Yep.
And then they turn out to be a stud when they're like established in the league. And you're like, wait a minute, what?
It's like, this was actually originally Carolina's pick. And it's like, well, it was originally their pick. They traded it to Panthers, and the Panthers traded it to Anaheim. So
and then Anaheim traded it to Utah,
and then Utah traded it to San Jose. So San Jose, the joke's on them. It's like, oh my God, man.
Okay.
Like, holy hell.
All right. So happy for the Capitals, and this is fine because, like, all right, the big story is for fans.
Yes.
Because we love this site, and it's not going to go dark for another few weeks.
Yeah, so we're still going to have it for the draft, and I think the first 4 days of free agency.
Yes, it's going dark on the 5th of July.
That's going to be a sad day when someone tweets out the photo of like www.CapFriendly, and it's just like nothing.
So the problem is on so many levels, like it usually is, with the way the league views things.
Yes.
You want to grow this game. You want to grow interest in your game. Allow fans like us to have a resource like this. They don't want us to have this information.
Yeah, they're like weirdly like trying to be as secretive as possible when it comes to like how much players make and stuff like that. It's interesting because like I would understand it if it was the league that didn't have a cap. Like, hey, we don't have a cap here, so like, what does it fucking matter how much these players are making? Like, okay, if I'd understand that.
Right.
But you were literally not just a cap league; you are a hard cap league. Like, we need to know how much these guys are making.
They make this much on average in order to fit under this specific number that we have.
Yeah,
and that's fun. Like weirdly, that's the kind of math that we like. It's weird, like. And it's fun because it's like, I don't know, it gives fans something to talk about.
It is because you like you have to make decisions based off of the cap.
Yeah.
So conversations that some people
Patrik Laine, how much are we going to retain on a Patrik Laine deal?
Think about Vegas, like
Vegas is prime for this.
The cup tax, where it's like they go out and they extend Ivan Barbashev, so it's like, okay, like this player that we absolutely loved in Riley Smith, we now have to move him.
Yeah,
all because of the cap.
They're moving on from misfits one by one because of the cap.
They go out and they get Noah Hannafin, and then they extend him, and now everyone's like, does this mean they're going to move Shea Theodore, or are they going to move
John Marchessault going to walk?
Yeah, but yeah, what's going to happen with Jonathan Marchessault? Nick Hay, guys like this, like Logan Thompson's got 1 year left on his deal. They clearly like Aiden Hill. Are they going to maybe try and cash in on Logan Thompson? Like, who knows?
What happened to Robin Lehner and his money? Like,
what happened to him and his snake farm? I mean,
yeah,
that are just unanswered.
I hope he's doing okay with him and his snake farm.
Me too.
God, what a legend.
Yeah.
So yes, that is the thing, is like the league doesn't want us to have this information, but we like it. It's a fun thing. Like, that's all we're using it for, is it's fun. It gives us something to talk about.
I want you to step back for a second and think about the two things you just named. The NHL hates. One is information being public.
Right.
And two is
fun.
So there you go. There's your answer, Jake.
It is 2024. It's not 1924 when guys are making like $1,000. And we don't need to know that guys are only making $1,000.
Oh man, yeah, because we're gonna go down to the arena and catch the New York Americans playing the Toronto arenas.
We're gonna go and catch the Hamilton Tigers playing the friggin' Montreal Maroons.
The Ottawa Senators.
The Ottawa Senators. Hey,
the original Ottawa Senators.
Oh man, I don't, because okay, so the solution right now is we kind of just have to be patient. Mm-hmm. Puckpedia is working on it.
Good.
Because they got so much traffic from the other day when the story originally broke.
Can I tell you why I am actually glad that the NHL doesn't control something like this?
Well,
because if they did, the site would be terrible.
Oh yeah, we all know that. And it's nice that we already know that a lot of teams, Columbus included, we have our own system that is this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like what the Caps are doing with buying CapFriendly, like what Vegas did to buy General Manager. Like, we already have Columbus, Carolina, Seattle, a lot of teams already have their own in-house system.
Mm-hmm.
What's the problem with fans having something to look at?
Right. Exactly. Like
If teams already have this, what's the problem with fans having that same information?
Yeah. It's not only does it give fans something to look at, it gives, TV hosts, radio hosts, podcasters, additional resources to create talking points when they're making content.
Exactly. Like
It
how many times over
affects
the
us.
last 3 years have we talked contracts and
Yeah.
like it totally affects us. So good on the CapFriendly boys, because they're going to get a bag from Ted Leonsis, which, that's really hard to do from a guy like Ted Leonsis.
They get a bag and they get a promotion. They're getting a brand new, cooler job.
Yeah. I mean, Kaylee went from the Golden Knights to Nesson.
Yeah.
So
she went from Bleacher Report to the Vegas Golden Knights, won a Stanley Cup, dipped and went back home to work for Nesson. Money fucking move right there.
And that's what you need to do when you're guys like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're lucky enough to get your in to work with the league.
Yep.
Which at this point, based off stories like Rachel Dory's, I don't know if we really want to, but it would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Would be fun to work for the Jackets, but
right now, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know.
Give it some time. Maybe
Give it some time.
Hey, Don.
Give it a year for Don Waddell's effect to kick in, and then maybe it'll be fun again.
We got to call the Don up.
Yep. All right. Finish off with the Washington. I'm sorry, the Utah hockey.
The Utah football.
Yeah.
So, the whole story that, this is a couple days old. Why not? This is exactly what the PWHL did.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this comes down to.
Yeah.
The Utah Hockey Club, as they're going to be known for a little bit.
Yes.
Revealed logos, jerseys. They still have, they're going to decide on a name.
Yes.
Which, let me try to find. So what are the 6?
The Yeti.
The Yeti, the Mammoth.
The Mammoth.
The Blizzard.
So funny. Yeti, Mammoth, and Blizzard. You know me. I love a good team name that doesn't have an S at the end of it.
That's a unified thing.
Wild, Lightning, Kraken.
Avalanche.
And I'm just like, oh my God, they're giving us 3 that are like this?
No, they're giving at least 4, because there's Venom.
Oh,
the Venom is in there.
Don't know how that relates necessarily to Utah, but I guess I could. But you know what? You know what also doesn't relate to Utah? The Jazz. So
right. Weirdly enough, Hockey Club is a part of that, to just keep it bland and keep it football. Weirdly.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be unique, but kind of ew.
Let me tell you, it works when it like when you look at the Premier League and all these other teams in soccer where it's Arsenal FC, Chelsea FC,
yeah,
Man United, it's whatever,
Crystal Palace,
a crazy brand to it. Yeah, Crystal Palace FC, that works because everyone is doing it. You look at the NHL, you already got 31 teams with the name, and you're like, we're gonna be Utah HC, and it's it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
No. Don't be a pretentious dickbag.
Yeah. Don't be a Dan Snyder.
Oof. Don't be an Alex Meruelo. Don't be an Alex Meruelo.
That is literally what he did.
That is exactly what he did.
Yeah.
And then eventually he sold, and everybody rejoiced. Hallelujah. So basically, what happened is the jerseys are fine.
Yeah.
The black,
color scheme's fine.
The black, the white, it's fine. The Kings are really the only ones that do straight up black and white.
Don't they have a blue?
They have silver. The Kings have silver in it. they have like a powder blue. Yeah, which is nice. And I like that powder blue. It's just kind of in the striping. Because the lettering is just straight up black or white. You could like put some blue drop shadow in it.
I like it. It's like a nice like they have like the blue for like around the neck, the
Yeah.
stripe on the side, like one at the bottom.
It would be nice if they put it as a drop shadow.
Yeah.
But like really what it comes down to is this is just for the first year.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta chill. This is just for something for them to have before the draft, really, and
Yes.
through their first year. Because I want to say that the official voting is done on the 20th
Believe so.
for the team name.
Mm.
So really, it's because they're rushing to get something in before the season.
Yes.
And we know how this works because we saw the PWHL just do this.
Yes. And I thought some of the, the things that they came up with were pretty great. So
I think
I tell you, if a whole ass league can get away with it, I think one hockey team can.
I hope that we get to see PWHL like actual like branding soon.
Yeah.
Like individualized team branding, because how much fun could that be with the PWHL?
Be a lot of fun.
And then so we have the 6 names. We have Hockey Club, Blizzard, Venom. Oh my gosh, why did they all just leave my brain?
Yeti.
Yeti. Outlaws was the other one that I was missing before, and then I don't know why. I don't know why that just left, but the other one that we brought up before.
Yes. It's interesting, real quick.
What's your pick? Because I feel like the consensus pick should be something like Yeti.
I think it should be Yeti. It's super creative, fun, different. Like plus
the Avalanche kind of don't really use the foot on the patches anymore, so like it's not going to really.
No, the foot left when Adam did.
Zing!
That was a good one. So it's funny, like their uniforms, like what they're trying to present, essentially.
Yeah.
Like the color scheme reminds me of the Buffalo Buttes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
And like if they go with a blue jersey, like this is what the Buttes went with for a little bit there too.
Ooh, I like it. It's cute.
Like it's a good color scheme when it's done well. So I'm definitely excited about that. Hard to fuck that up, I think.
And I mean, Yeti works with that. Like you could put the white logo and have the powder blue around it.
Yeah, the powder blue can just be your tertiary color that's just good for your stripes and whatnot to add a little bit of pop to the jersey, and it could be centered around the black and white for the logos and everything.
And then you throw out a powder blue third jersey eventually, like
yeah.
And
then in 2 years, the NHL is like, we're doing reverse retros again.
Wait a minute. And then imagine they just pull like a Kachina out of their closet, like
that would be you know what? I mean, I guess you are correct.
Uh-oh. He's buggy. I hope he's not dying on us. Well, that being said, we got plenty of time. We're counting down to 150, and we've got plans here. So everybody, we got to say goodbye. I'm just gonna let this play out until he dies. Maybe. Unless. Jay, buddy, I love you. Are you here? Nope, I just got. Okay. He's gone. We love you all, and we'll be back when we come back. I don't know what's going on. He's very like fidgety and frozen. So not like frozen, but like he's here. He's alive. What's the ending to a show without a buggy glitch, right? So at this point, yes, we're just gonna sign off and bye, everybody. We'll see you when we see you next.
Jake Jackets, a podcast for fifth liners and all puckheads around. Follow the guys on Twitter at Snake Gehringer, GARRINGER, and at By J Ashdown. And subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen. March on.